And good evening. All right, this is part 2 to the Brandon Raub arrest false flag operation. It is now the 21st of August, Tuesday, right around 11 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. I've wanted to sit back and watch and see what happens with what's happening with this story. And, well, it does not disappoint. So I'm more convinced than ever this is a false flag operation. And what is really, truly pathetic is the amount of people who are buying into this and running with it and not even looking at it for themselves. Supposed truthers. How do you call yourself a truther or a patriot or someone who follows the alternative media? And when you're handed a story about someone that, from your perception, is on your team, our side, however you want to rationalize it out, and you don't look at it fully, you just accept the surface level information you're given, and then you repeat it like a parrot. It is no wonder the powers that be are crushing us. Because, you know, again, as I said on the first clip I did about this and on my radio show, if I'm wrong, produce the paperwork. Come on the show. Contact me. I'll say I'm wrong. It still hasn't happened. So, as the Raub, R-A-U-B story has evolved, well, you know, the usual suspects are picking up the story and running with it. In fact, it's even on Drudge Report tonight. So there's a reason they want you to know about this. No one has stepped back to critically think about this and say, you know, there's a lot of people who've said 100 times things worse than this character has said. They've never been arrested. You know, it's a perfect fear-mongering operation. And the other side of it, because the powers that be are going to win both ways in this. Whether people get afraid and stop posting, or they get angry and possibly do something. I think that's part of the equation here, too. Everything that's done is done for a dual purpose. So let's get into this a little bit. You know, the usual suspects picking up the story. The big enchilada down in Texas has dealt with it. It's on Drudge. A lot of big name, well-known alternative media, patriot, liberty types, websites are putting it up there. This is what's wrong with us. We can sit here, you know, and say, hey, the Aurora shooting, that's a conspiracy. That was a false flag op. But we can't look at this and see it for what it is. Man, we're in deep trouble. Interesting things for people just to question yourself about. Like I said in the first video, less than 6 people there. The Secret Service and the feds are worried about what this guy's doing, but he doesn't go to a federal mental institution. You know, if the Secret Service and the FBI really wanted you, you're never going to know about it. You're not going to hear about it. They're just going to black bag your ass, and you're going to frickin' disappear. You're not going to be able to call mommy, and you're not going to be able to call into a patriot talk show. And, you know, no point in me calling names. But I got some questions, and ain't none of you thinking about this, at least none of the people that are out there running around. How did Brandon Raub get the phone number of this particular alternative media personality? How do you do that? And for people that understand how the criminal and mental system works. How's he got phone privileges? Because in that interview that he gave, he says he was in protective custody. Usually that means you're fully locked down. And there's a lot of people out there that have been, thrown in a psych ward for drunk and acting out, or vets with PTSD. Privileges are earned. There's levels you transit through. So this guy is at the point where he can make a phone call. And again, look, I've done prison time. And I've talked about this on my show many times. Can't say that all mental hospitals are the same, but you call somebody from a prison, every few minutes there'll be a message that interrupts, that lets everybody know where you're calling from. This was a real clean interview. Not to mention, if you listen to the guy who's the voice of Brandon Raub in this interview, he was pretty calm. He wasn't talking like a guy who was posting some of the things that were on that Facebook page. And, of course, we can argue, yes, he was medicated or whatever. Okay, maybe so. But, again, don't we have to be critical thinkers even about things that happen within the patriot, freedom, truth, whatever bullshit you want to put on this? I mean, if not, are we any better than liberals or conservatives, Democrats or Republicans? And are we ever going to achieve real freedom, true knowledge, and understanding? Personally, I think there's an awful lot of you out there that don't want that. You want to jump on a team, you want to rally for a cause to fulfill some weakness in your character. And that's the reason why the whole agenda keeps rolling forward. So, and, another interesting point about this interview Brandon did. He said he did 2.5 to 3 years active duty. Well, look, I'm a military veteran. I was in the Army. Now granted, I enlisted in 1990, and maybe things have changed, but back when I went in, you couldn't enlist for half a year. It was full years. And he was a Marine. So he says he did 2.5 to 3 years and then 6 years IRR. So that's 9 years total, right? Or 8.5. And he also says he's been out of service a year. At least that's things I've read that his mother has said. Okay, so you were born in 86, graduated high school more than likely in 2004 if you went the full, till you were 18 through 12th grade, which you probably normally want to have a diploma to especially go in the Marines. Do your own math, folks, on the timeline. 2.5, 3 years active, 6 years inactive, and a year out. That doesn't seem to add up. But, hey, believe what you want to believe. And another interesting point, of course, we know that the powers that be love to play little mind games with us. Raub is a German word. And go to Google Translate, type it in for yourself, allow it to detect language. It comes up with noun, robbery, rape, plunder, abduction, booty, loot, raid, snatch. Wow, that's really interesting. And of course, there's fundraisers now all over the place for this guy, because that's how the powers that be work. Problem, reaction, solution. So a problem is proffered to us. Some unknown guy. Supposedly, all this stuff happens. You got some people scared. You got some people angry. You got other people raising money. Hey, if we want to move forward, if we want to be free, it starts by being critical, by being able to think outside the box and accept the fact that you may make mistakes. I may very well be wrong here. They may actually be able to prove that they are what they are. Then again, they may not. So why is all this going on the way it is? It's very peculiar. And the thing that bothers me the most is simply the fact that no one is asking questions. They're just running with it. Well, there'll probably be a couple more parts to this series because I don't see this going away now that it's made it to Drudge. It will certainly amp up some fear porn, especially as we go into the Republican National Convention in Tampa in 6 short days. Keep your eyes open, folks. Listen to all, follow none, and think for your goddamn selves. I am Nemo DeNovo. You can catch me every Saturday on the Oracle Broadcasting Network and, of course, here at Survive Change YouTube channel. If you agree, disagree, comment, like, and share, because the most important thing we can do is keep the conversation going and at least think. We don't have to run after everything as law, because not only do we see conspiracy theories other places, they happen within our own ranks. Don't think they don't. Much love. Be well. This is Nemo checking out.